What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelly. If you're new here, and in this video I am going to be taking you all with me to Lisbon, Portugal. You guys, I have heard so many great things about Lisbon. Everything they say about Lisbon is 100% true. From the food to the beautiful scenery, the beaches, I cannot stop raving about Lisbon, Portugal. I don't think I was prepared to come to Portugal, and buongiorno, good morning. I don't know how Portuguese people say good morning, but good morning, everyone. This is our first full day here in Portugal, and I have to let you all know, I don't think I was prepared to come to Portugal. And I say that because of two things. One, I don't know why, I think I've gotten super comfortable being in Italy, and the last few trips that we have gone to, they've been very flat climate places, but I completely forgot that Portugal is a very hilly, up and down country. And when I say Portugal, I mean Lisbon. You all will realize that I will say Portugal and mean Lisbon. So I mean Lisbon. Lisbon is a very up and down, hilly city. And I completely ignored that, forgot about it, forgot that a lot of Mediterranean countries are just not really designed for, flat walking and strollers. And I'm not gonna lie, when we went out last night, we had to go up some steep stairs, and I was almost ready to go back to Naples. I was like, I'm over this. I am over this. And I will warn any parent that has a child that is stroller age. I have already seen a couple this morning carrying their stroller up the stairs because of all the stairs here. So was not prepared for that, one. And then two, the weather. Y'all, it is June, about to be July in 2 weeks. And the weather here, it was cool when we first got here. It was nice, perfect weather. I was like, oh my gosh. And then the evening got here and it was cold. And I was sitting at our dinner table last night, freezing cold. And our Airbnb host told us, he was like, you'll need a light sweater when you go out because it does get cold at night because we're near all the water. And I was like, he don't know what he's talking about. We're in the Mediterranean. It's warm. Back in Naples, when you walk outside the house, you busting a sweat because it's hot. So I ain't putting at that man. He was right. Let me shut up. He knew what he was talking about. So right now we're about to head out and get something to eat. I do want to say the whole point of us coming to Lisbon was to attend the Hours Journey 365 Days to Financial Freedom. My husband and I were big fans and followers of the couple, Armand and Christina. We are huge advocates of, retiring early and, reclaiming our time. That is our main goal. We want to retire, and at least from our main jobs in the next 8 to 10 years. So today is the event. It's at like 2 o'clock. So I'm super excited. So let's go enjoy the rest of Lisbon, Portugal. Now, you all know the best way to kick off the beginning of a trip is to eat a proper breakfast. Now, if you've watched some of my previous videos, then you know this particular breakfast spot we visited in Barcelona. If you have not seen that video, make sure you check it out. We ended up coming back to Zenith, and I 100% love this breakfast spot. Hands down, love it. After breakfast, we had some time to kill before we went to the Hour's Journey meetup. So we ended up going to some major popular spots in Lisbon. The first place we went to was the main piazza in downtown Lisboa. And it was absolutely beautiful. There was a lot going on, a lot of restaurants, a lot of vendors, a lot of entertainers down there. So if you are someone who enjoys, going to the main piazzas and seeing what it has to offer, I would definitely not skip out on this piazza. So as you can see, the elevator line was super packed, but we decided to weigh the pros against the cons, and we're not going to do it. But it looks super cool if that's something you want to do when you come to Lisbon. After exploring downtown, it was finally time to go to the Hour's Journey meetup, and I will say we had so much fun. If you are familiar with the Hour's Journey channel, then you know this family is all about financial independence, retiring early, investments, being a household that is all about retiring in our early 40s and investments. We were super happy to be amongst like minds. This meetup was amazing, and myself and Marcus are already talking about planning to go to the meetups next year. Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. It is our second full day in Portugal. And before we get started, I'd like to say that the Hour's Journey meetup yesterday was so much fun. It was really cool meeting different people from around the world, because it wasn't just people coming from the States. There were actually some people that were already living in Europe who were embarking on the fire journey, or in the thick of the fire journey like we are, to just talk to them, get to know them, and just kind of hang out with like-minded people. I thought it was really cool. There was this one family that literally just took the leap of faith and decided to move to Portugal, and they had only been here for 4 days, and I thought that was so cool, because I'm always fascinated by people who are just like, I'm just gonna just take the risk and do something I've always wanted to do, and not really nuke something. So that was really cool, and it was just awesome meeting different people to understand where they were in their fire journey. So if you are a fan of the Hour's Journey channel, and you've considered joining their 365 days to fire and coming to the meetup, and you were kind of hesitant about it, I would recommend it. They have a lot more meetups that are going to take place in the next few days, and they actually have one today. But we are going to kind of get back to our regular scheduled travel plans and explore Portugal. Today, I had originally planned for us to go to Sintra, but I don't know if that's going to happen because it's kind of late. We're moving pretty slow. When I say we, I mean me. But nonetheless, we are going to kick off our day and hi Parker, and get things started. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We kicked off our second full day in Lisbon visiting a very popular castle. Now, this particular castle is one of the places in the city of Lisbon that if you want great views, I would recommend coming here to get pictures and content. The views were amazing here, and there was not a extremely unbearable long line to get into this castle. And if you end up purchasing a Lisboa pass prior to your trip, you get to go into this place without paying. Another cool thing about this place is they have peacocks that just run wild and live their best life. So if you have little ones, they'll be thoroughly entertained by the peacocks running around. After visiting the castle, we walked all the way to the other side of the city to visit this popular attraction, which is the Pink Road, which is literally what it sounds like, a road that is pink. As a pink lover myself, I could not pass up on it, but I will say that for me personally, it was kind of a little overhyped, and honestly, they need to repaint the street. We ended up going to the Christ the King statue in Portugal. Now, if you are familiar with this statue, you probably recall that it is very popular in Brazil. Portugal ended up constructing and building a very similar Christ the King statue here in Lisbon after the Christ the Redeemer statue was built in Brazil. I highly recommend going to view this statue. It is completely breathtaking. This particular statue and attraction is the other recommendation I would tell anyone. If you want amazing, breathtaking views of Lisbon, you have to go to the Christ the King statue. When coming to Lisbon, we learned from our Uber driver that I guess the month of June or just during the summertime in general, the city of Lisbon has a lot of just pop-up markets and festivals. Right across the street from this particular market was a ginginha shop, which served the popular cherry liqueur, and I could not leave Lisbon without enjoying some. And I would highly recommend getting some on your trip here. Buongiorno, buongiorno, buongiorno. Today is our final full day here in Portugal. So we are going to, or in Lisbon, I keep using it interchangeably, but we are headed to breakfast, our own faithful spot, as you all will see. And then we are going to take the train to Sintra, a very castle-like picturesque town. So we have a full day ahead of us. So let's go ahead and jump into it and get started. I feel like today is like a game day because I'm seeing a lot of people with jerseys on. So we'll see what the day has in store. The train ride from Lisbon to Sintra was about 30 to 40 minutes, and another benefit of buying a Lisboa card ahead of time was that we were able to just, scan our cards and hop onto the train. So we have made it to Sintra. The train ride was very easy, simple, just like any regional train you'll take when you are visiting Europe or if you live in Europe. And I will say, since we've been here, I don't a lot of people move to Portugal, especially Lisboa, and they rave about it. Lisbon is really cool, but I could not see myself living in the city of Lisbon. But as we were leaving the city of Lisbon and we're heading towards Sintra, seeing the outskirts of the city, it looked a little bit more like a suburban area, not as fast-paced as the city. And I definitely want to come back to Portugal to explore those. I guess stay tuned for a future trip. So now we're trying to figure out how we're going to get to the Pena Palace. So we'll see. I would highly recommend anyone who is going to be visiting Lisbon to make sure you get up to Sintra to see Pena Palace because it is absolutely beautiful. When going to Pena Palace, you do have to make a reservation to visit the castle. The castle in itself, you can just pay to go in, but if you want to actually see the rooms and different aspects of the interior of the castle, you have to reserve a time slot. When leaving Sintra, heading back to Lisbon, we ended up missing our actual train stop and got off at a random stop. And initially it was a little frustrating. However, I thoroughly appreciated this era because it allowed us to kind of walk and explore the very, very more local, not so touristy area of Lisbon. And I absolutely loved it. To close out our trip to Lisbon, we ended up having dinner at this really nice restaurant that was close to the main piazza, and the food was absolutely amazing. The service was great as well. After dinner, coincidentally, downtown Portugal was celebrating Pride, and they had a Pride festival going on, so we did peek in there for a little while. They had live DJs, performers, beer. The sunset was so beautiful off the water. I mean, it was such a perfect way to close out our trip to Portugal. Y'all, this trip to Portugal was so amazing, and I will 100% be making my way back to Lisbon in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next video below.